Welcome back to Mindful English Talks, everyone. John here, as always, with my wonderful co-host, Angelina.
Hey everyone! So good to be back with you all. And John, today's topic, I think, is something that genuinely resonates with almost everyone at some point in their lives, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, Angelina. It's a profound one. We're talking about letting go is self-respect. And honestly, when I first started thinking about this, it really hit me how often we mistake holding on for strength, when sometimes the real strength lies in the release.
Exactly! It's such a powerful reframe. Because culturally, sometimes, we're taught to fight for it, never give up, persevere at all costs. And while those mindsets are valuable in certain contexts, they can also become a trap when what we're holding onto is actually detrimental to us.
Right? It's like, we hold on to people, habits, situations that honestly stopped helping us grow a long time ago. But we stay. Why do we do that, Angelina? Why do we cling to what no longer serves us?
Oh, that's a deep question, John. I think it's a mix of things. Familiarity is a huge one. It's comfortable even if it's a comfortable discomfort. The unknown is scary. And then there's hope. That stubborn, persistent hope that things will change, that people will change, that circumstances will somehow improve if we just wait a little longer.
That comfort zone. It's so seductive, isn't it? Even if that comfort zone is actually quite painful. I remember a friend once told me it's easier to stay with the devil you know than the angel you don't.
Oh, that's a good one. And it's true. The brain loves predictability, even negative predictability. But what we often don't realize is that this very act of holding on, driven by fear or false hope, is actually eroding our self-respect. It's saying, I'm not worth something better, or my peace isn't as important as this familiar struggle.
You've hit on such a crucial point there, Angelina, self-respect. Because when we talk about letting go, it's not about giving up in a weak sense. It's about a conscious, powerful decision to prioritize your own well-being. It takes a huge amount of courage to say, this isn't working for me anymore, and then actually act on it.
It really does. Think about it. Letting go means choosing your long-term peace over temporary comfort. It means accepting the uncomfortable truth that not everything or everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. That's a bitter pill for many to swallow, myself included at times.
Definitely. We're often taught this narrative of forever, whether it's friendships, relationships, jobs, and while permanence can be beautiful, the reality is that people grow, circumstances change, and sometimes paths diverge. And trying to force them back together or clinging to what was just causes more pain.
And that pain, John, is often a direct result of disrespecting our own inner compass. Our intuition, our feelings, they often tell us something isn't right long before our logical brain gives us permission to acknowledge it. When we ignore those signals, we're essentially telling ourselves, my feelings don't matter.
Exactly. And that's where discipline comes in, I think. Because it's one thing to recognize that something isn't serving you, but it's another to actually, implement the letting go part. Discipline teaches you to recognize when holding on is truly holding you back, and then to act on that recognition, even when it's hard.
Oh, absolutely. It's not a one-time decision, it's a series of conscious choices. Every time that familiar urge to reach out or to revisit old patterns comes up, you have to choose to respect the boundary you've set for yourself. That's discipline in action.
And the payoff? The payoff is huge. Self-respect grows exponentially when you start making decisions that actively protect your peace. When you walk away from what drains you, you're not just creating absence, you're creating space. Space for what supports you, what nourishes you, what truly aligns with who you are now.
It's like decluttering your life, isn't it? You know, when you declutter your physical space, you initially feel overwhelmed, but then once it's done, there's this lightness, this clarity. It's the same, if not more powerful, with emotional and relational clutter.
That's such a great analogy, Angelina, because growth, true personal growth, often begins with release. You can't plant new seeds if the ground is still full of old, dead roots. By letting go, you free up your time, your energy, your mental bandwidth. You allow yourself to move forward without carrying all that unnecessary weight.
And that weight, it's exhausting, isn't it? It's like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of rocks. You might finish, but you'll be utterly drained, and it would have been so much harder than it needed to be. Why put ourselves through that?
Exactly. And sometimes we don't even realize how heavy that backpack is until we finally take it off. That's the aha moment. The sudden realization of how much energy was being expended just to maintain something that wasn't even serving us.
It reminds me of a situation I had once, John, with a long-standing friendship that had really turned toxic. For years, I kept making excuses, hoping things would go back to how they were. But every interaction left me feeling drained, criticized, and just generally worse about myself.
Oh, I think many listeners can relate to that. It's tough when history is involved.
It was incredibly tough. I felt guilty even considering letting go, like I was abandoning someone. But eventually, I realized that by constantly exposing myself to that negativity, I was actively disrespecting my own mental health. It took months of internal struggle, but I finally made the decision to create distance. And honestly, the immediate sense of relief was profound. It wasn't about blaming the other person, it was about protecting myself.
That's such a brave move, Angelina, and a perfect example of what we're talking about. It wasn't about weakness, it was an act of profound self-respect. And often, these decisions don't need a grand announcement or a public explanation, do they? You don't need to explain your decision to everyone. You only need to understand it for yourself.
Oh, thank goodness for that. Because sometimes the pressure to justify yourself to others can be an additional burden. The people who truly matter will either understand or they'll respect your boundaries anyway. And those who don't, well, their opinions probably aren't the ones you need to be focusing on in the first place.
Exactly. Your peace, your journey, your value, your future, these are personal. And respecting them means making choices that align with them, even if those choices are unpopular with others. It's about tuning into your inner wisdom, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And it's an ongoing practice, not a destination. There will always be new things, new habits, new relationships, or old patterns that we might need to reassess and potentially release. It's about constantly checking in with yourself. Is this still serving me? Is this helping me grow or holding me back?
That self-awareness is key. And it truly is a sign of maturity and self-love to be able to honestly answer those questions and then take action. It means you're not just passively letting life happen to you. You're actively curating your experience, your environment, your well-being.
Precisely. And it's empowering. The idea that you have the agency to change your circumstances by changing your internal response or your external engagement, that's real power. It's not about controlling others, it's about controlling your own life.
So to all our listeners out there today, if there's something you're holding on to, a habit, an old belief, a relationship, a job, that deep down you know isn't serving you, take a moment. Reflect. Is that grip a sign of strength, or is it actually a burden you're carrying out of fear or misplaced loyalty?
And remember, when you choose to let go of what no longer serves you, you're not losing. You are choosing yourself, you're choosing your peace, you're choosing your growth, and that, truly, is the highest form of self-respect.
Beautifully said, Angelina. Thank you for that powerful conversation today. I know it's going to resonate deeply with many.
Thank you, John. And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Mindful English Talks. We truly appreciate you being part of our community. Until next time, be kind to yourselves, and remember to respect your journey.
Indeed. Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.